right, we are back with part two. Where's my? There it is. Two of the SMT5 All the Demons tier list. Last time we did every demon. We did the first 50-ish demons up to Turbo Granny in terms of their original level, and today we're gonna do some more. Because Eric's gonna do some more. Starting off with Old Man with Leaf. Old Man with Leaf. Koro Poker. Koro Poker. He's really good at poker. I am gonna say he is. Ooh, let me think. I actually think he is. I'm trying to think of the stuff around him. Trying to remember the stuff. I'm going to look at the stuff around him for a little bit. For just a tiny bit. Yeah. That is a slight issue. Yeah. 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 I think he's C. I'm going to put him in C for now. Oh, the ads are back. Fuck me, dude. Why are the ads back? Man. This internet's off and then it turns back on. It's fucking. God damn it. Okay, hold on 1 second. Get rid of the ads. That'll just stop. Okay, so next is. I'll let this fan go. Okay, next is. Where is he? Where's Old Man with Leaf? There he is. He is. I'm gonna put him in C. I think he's about the same as High Pixie. Yeah, I'll put him in C. I think he is okay. Resistance wise, oh wait, I just saw his resistances. Yeah, no, he's going into C minus. Well, yeah, he's going into C minus. I'm gonna be fair. I'm gonna be frank. So, Koro Poker comes with a defensive wise, he nulls ice, he resists light and poison, and he's weak to wind and dark. Which means he's weak to an insta kill magic. Stat wise, he's a magic focused character, 27 magic, 21 agility, 25 luck. Not great strength and vitality. He sacrifices a little bit of magic for a little bit of luck, which isn't as good. His innate skill is Frigid Melody. He just increases the damage you hit when hitting an ice weakness. He starts with Bufala, Mabufu, and Tarukadra, and he gets Trough Fury, Tarunda, and Ice Block by level up. Potential-wise, he has +4 in Ice, +1 in Healing, and +3 in Support, even though he doesn't get any healing skills naturally. I think overall he's okay. I think having 2 weaknesses, especially to an insta-kill type of magic, hurts him a lot. +4 in Ice is great. +3 in Support is nice. It means he won't use too much mana when using his 2 support skills. He has Trough Fury for hard, but I don't know why he has +1 healing. It feels kind of weird. Overall, I think what hurts him is his 2 weaknesses. And the fact that Jack Frost is like 1 level below and is better defensively and has a better skill in Jack Bufala, and I think it's just better overall. Because Jack Frost is better defensively, has more MP and health at a lower level, has overall just better stats. So, like, it's hard to see him. It's hard to justify putting Kopiker on the team when Jack Frost is just better and is like one level lower. Because if you level up Jack Frost, you basically get just the straight up the same um a better defensive profile for less of a cost. Because Jack Frost when you fully level up does drains ice and resists light, while Kopiker only nulls ice. So basically, you're getting the same thing as Jack Frost, but for instead of one weakness, you have two. Or well, I guess charm. I guess the Jack Frost is weak to charm, but yeah, that's not really. I don't want to count that as a weakness. But when Kopiker is weak to two things, and one of them is an insta kill, which is I think significantly worse. So overall, I would say yeah, he's like C minus. I don't. I think it's just like if Jack Frost wasn't as close in level to him, I would say yeah, maybe go for him. But really, it just kind of feels like there's no real point in putting him on. I don't think he's D because he's at least has good mat. He at least has decent stats, and he does come with medium ice, and his skill set is pretty goodish. But I think he's nowhere. He isn't like C level just because Jack Frost, which is like B plus, is in like the same like level grouping as him, which does hurt him quite a bit. I think if Jack Frost was of a lower level, I could see of like you can use Kopiker as like the replacement, like a weird pseudo, it's like a pseudo replacement. Other than that, nah, I don't think he's that good. I don't think he's that good. All right, next is who? Naga. Oh, I went too far. Oh my god. Oh, okay. Okay. Hold on. Sorry, I'm like, what is this one? Okay, Naga. I'm gonna be real frank. This is C. I don't think Naga is any higher than C. Where's Naga? I also have to use the bathroom, so I will put Naga in C, and I will use the bathroom real quick, and then I will give my reasoning. Okay, I will be. He's better than this. Yeah, he's around here. I'll be right back. I'm gonna use the bathroom. Alright, so continuing on with the tier list, let's get into Naga. I put Naga, I think, in C. Yeah, I did. Okay. Look up Naga. So Naga, weakness wise, it nullifies lightning and seal. It is weak to fire and wind. Stat wise, it has good strength, good vitality, piss poor magic, good agility, bad luck, or like decent luck. Its innate skill is carpet bolting and increases damage of your electric attack of its own electric attacks based on the number of hits dealt by allies during the same turn. Its starting skills are Puncture Punch and Heat Wave. This is the first time we're seeing Puncture Punch. Puncture Punch is a medium physical attack that does pierce, which is really nice. And then it learns Resist Fire, Zyonga, and Charge by level up. Potential wise, it has +2 in physical, +1 in electric, and +1 in support. I think overall it is mainly just puncture punch, and that's about it. It does get resist fire, so it does turn one of its two weaknesses into a resist. So overall, when you level it up, it does just become only weak to wind. So defensively, it does become pretty decent. I think overall, its passive is like niche. It's not great, but it's not bad. It's not really good, but it's not terrible. It's kind of just niche. Its stats aren't bad. I think what holds it back is its low potentials. Only having +2 as its highest just stinks. And the fact that for its other for moves that use its other positive potentials, it has Zionga, which it's not going to be good with unless you proc its passive like really high because Naga's magic is low, and Charge, which is it doesn't really which only gets like a slight MP reduction. So overall, I think it's okay. I think it mainly is just puncture punch is charge puncture punch charge puncture punch. And that can do pretty well because you don't have to worry about the enemy resisting or nullifying physical because puncture punch has peers. But I think outside of that, it's not very good just because it only really has that and then a weak physical attack that hits all foes. And not even like the good one that has a high chance of critting, it's just weak physical attack to all foes. So overall, I think it's okay. It's an okay demon. It's not a bad choice to just throw on your team, but I just don't think it has anything spectacular about it. And overall, it is just mainly one attack, and that attack is pretty good. If that makes sense. Okay. Next is Attis. Attis, Attis, Attis. Attis is. You know what? Attis? Attis, I'm gonna put in B minus. No, crazy, right? Where's Attis? He's in the bunch of A's. Attis, I'm gonna put in B minus. Yeah, I've been looking for something to put in B minus. I think Attis is good. Attis, defensive wise, he nullifies fire, and he is weak to dark and sleep. Being weak to instant attack does suck. Skill magic does suck. Stat wise, he's pretty good. Very balanced, but like a high, very balanced across the board and like high offensive. His vitality is a little bit low, but honestly, it's better than like out of the six past demons we've looked at previously, he has higher vitality than all of them except for Naga. So his stats are just overall pretty good. Um, his innate skill is Pine Tree's Rebirth. While in the active party, he gives slight HP recovery to allies when he becomes incapacitated, which is not great. You really don't want to have a demon become having a skill that like does like basically when he gets down to 0 HP, he'll give media to your whole party, which is niche. Like it's very much like you have to like hope the enemy hits him, and like if you're relying on that, you're probably in a very bad position, and you should probably not be in there. Skill wise, he starts with Venom Chaser, Agalio, and Recarm. Um, and by level up, he gets Fire Block, Berserker God, and Endure. This is the first time we're seeing Endure. Endure is basically if he goes down to 0, if he takes a lethal hit that would bring him below 0 HP, he just goes down to 1 once per battle, which is a really good skill. Like Endure is like a really, really nice skill. And overall, his skill list is pretty good. Potential wise, he has +3 in physical, +2 in fire, and +2 in healing. And he does learn skills that use all those potentials. He has +3 in physical, so he does a pretty good amount of damage at this point with physical skills. And +3 is good for this point. Um, his elemental thing he can actually do decent damage with because he actually has a magic stat, and he has +2 in it, which is not the best, but he can at least do something with it. I wish he got a healing skill that wasn't Recarm, because if I think he got media, he'd be like a lot better. But I think overall he's a pretty good demon. He's the first demon that gets Endure. His stats are good. His like, I just think what just edges him out of B is the fact that you have to level him up twice to get a good physical skill on him because he starts with Venom Chaser without any way for him to inflict poison, which sucks. And I think having Recarm as his only skill does make him kind of not really a healer because he doesn't have a healing skill. I feel like if he had a healing skill, he would definitely be at least B. But I think because he doesn't have an innate healing skill, and it takes a few levels to get to his like good shit, which is Berserker God at +3 and Endure. I will rate him as B minus. He takes couple levels to get like really really good, but he starts off decent and he becomes really really good. So I think he gets at least a B minus. You know, I think at least. And plus B minus, we need some more shit thrown in there. So might as well just put something in there, you know. And I think he deserves that. Okay. Next is Saronup. Saronup. I am going to be. Oh, I'm gonna be. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna be. I think Saronup is at least a B plus. At least a B plus. I think Saronup is at least B plus. Do I think he's better than B plus? I think he's definitely better than. I think he's definitely at least a B plus. Do I think he's A? I'm trying to think of the bosses. I want to say I don't think he's A. I don't think he's A. I think he just falls short of A. But I think he's a very high B plus. And I'll go into why. So Saronup. Defensively, he resists fire, ice, and light, and is weak to dark. So it does suck. He has a weakness to an insta-kill magic. Stat wise, he's kind of balanced, focusing more on magic, agility, and luck. Um, his passive is Incendiary Stoning, increases the damage of fire attacks based on the number of hits dealt by allies during the turn, which is okay. He comes with two unique skills. And he starts with one of them in his starting skill set, which is Gas, Fire, Rain, which is a medium fire attack to all foes. And this is the first demon that has a medium spell that attacks multiple foes. A spell that attacks multiple foes. He also starts with Hama and Restore. This is the first demon with Restore. You get slight MP recovery when he strikes a foe's weakness or lands a crit. I think it's 10 MP he restores, so not that much, but still it helps a little bit with getting MP. He also learns Blinding Strike, which is the weak physical attack that lowers accuracy evasion. He gets Light Block, and he gets lastly his second unique skill, Cautious Cheer, which raises the defense, accuracy, and evasion of all allies by 1 rank for 3 turns. And since accuracy and evasion are considered in the same like stat buff, he buffs two stats on all of your party for 3 turns by 1. Potential wise, he comes with +3 in fire, +1 in ice, +2 in light, and +4 in support. Overall, I think he's pretty fucking good. He comes with 2 unique skills, including an insane one in Cautious Cheer. Cautious Cheer is just the best buffing skill at this point because it buffs everyone in your party with 2 stats. It's basically Luster Candy, but it's basically a much cheaper Luster Candy that doesn't buff your attack, which is insane this early. He's the first demon with a medium offensive spell that hits all enemies, which is good. His potentials are good. He does have a +1 in ice, even though he doesn't get any ice skills, which is weird. His skill set is pretty decent. I do wish he got an ice skill instead of blinding strike because his strength isn't the best. But I think overall he's pretty good. His main offensive is +3. He has +4 in support, which is insane. That's almost max, by the way. Like 5 is the max for support, so he pretty much almost has max in support, and that's just great. I think his downsides are his stats are a little bit mediocre. So as he levels up, he will have. I think he does have a little bit of a survivability issue even on hard, because just his starting stats are not the best, except for his MP. His starting MP is great. And I think he does struggle with damage a tiny bit just because his main spell is an enemy wide thing. So it does do less damage than just a single target medium spell. Um but overall, I think he's pretty fucking good. And I think that does kind of prevent him from being A. Let me think. Let me look at the A people. I might actually put him in A. Yeah, you know what? He's going in A. Just because of that. I think I'm gonna put Adivas in B plus. Yeah, he's going in A just because of that. Because he just is just the support thing he does is just really good. I think he can be a really good. He's a really good support demon just because of that. So yeah, I'll put him in A, and I'll move Atavas to B, B plus, just because. I realized during today, during work and all that, that like Atavas's one problem is that he quickly gets replaced by Jack O' Lantern, which is just better than him. So I will say that's a slight downside to him. But overall, I still think he's great. So yeah, I'll put him in A. I think he's not A plus or S just because of his low survivability and the fact that he feels like he doesn't do much damage. But honestly, he's one of your best support mons at this stage, and I've used him in both playthroughs, and he's gone quite a bit far, just because he can boost your stats better than most other demons at this point. So yeah, A. All right, next is Neja Taizi. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna put him. Neja Taizi. I think I'm gonna get him. Yeah, I'm gonna put Neja. You know what? I'm gonna put him in B plus for the point. No, I'm gonna at least put him in B. Yeah, I'll put him in B. Um, does he deserve B plus? I'm trying to think. No, I think he's B. No, because at this point, medium is kind of the standard, right? Yeah. But he does have endure. Yeah, no, I'll put him in B plus. Yeah. What is he weak to? Lightning? Oh yeah, no, I'll put him in B plus. Yeah. Being weak to lightning isn't that bad at this stage. Where is he? Where is he? N. Where is he? So he's around here. No. Oh, there he is. Found him. Okay, he goes. I will say at least B plus. I think he's around the same as this. Yeah, because he no, I'll do that. Okay, so Neja Taizi. Defensive wise, he resists fire and wind and is weak to lightning. Stat wise, he's pretty good. He's very similar to Atlas, except instead of having except Atlas has higher agility, while Neja has higher vitality. His passive ability is Universe Ring. When he resists or nulls an attack, he has a chance to counter with a medium physical attack with a chance of insta kill. So if he gets hit with a fire wind attack, he's a chance to hit back with an insta kill attack. His starting skill set is Agalio, Zanma, and Berserker God. and he learns Counter, Riborama, and Endure. This is the first time we're seeing Riborama. Riborama basically means it is a skill that increases your encounter chance until the next full moon, and also prevents any encounters from running away. It's honestly very very niche. It's only really good for like Matamas, for like when you're fighting a bunch of Matamas, and unless you have the Matama DLC, you're not really seeing a bunch of Matamas in one area until late game, and by that point, Najat's pretty is been phased out quite a long time ago. So it's very niche. Nah, I don't think it's a very good skill. Potential wise, he has +2 in physical, +2 in fire, and +2 in wind. And overall, I think he's pretty good. He starts with a good, really good skill set, having medium fire, medium wind, and medium physical, and having at least +2 in all of them. Um, he learns counter and endure, which are both great skills. Counter can proc with universe ring, so he can do a shit ton of damage if he gets hit by like a strength based wind or fire thing. Although, wait a minute. Now I'm thinking about it. Oh wait, yeah, no, they'll never proc together because there's no physical fire or wind skills this early. Right, yeah. So these two will not proc together, unfortunately, because he knows mostly magic attacks at this stage. So yeah, it kind of stinks. So it's very hard to get Universe Ring and Counter to hit at the same time, unfortunately. But there is there. If you do get lucky and you do get it to proc both, it can do quite a bit of damage. He gets Endure, which is great. Endure is a great skill, always appreciated on a demon. Overall, he's pretty good. I don't think he's any higher than B plus, just because he only has +2 in everything, and I wish he had a +3 in something so he could do a little bit more damage. But overall, I think he's pretty good. He's basically like a replacement for Feng Huang in terms of he has the exact same potentials and like damage kind of stuff. He has the same in wind. He has less in fire, but honestly, he's like still has a Galio, and he has pretty good stats, balanced stats. I think overall he's pretty good. He's pretty tanky. He's 22 vitality at this point. Is pretty tanky. He's got good offensive stats. He's got a good like damage attacking spread. He's got good skills. It's like he's pretty good. I think his only downside is that like resistance wise, he's not like defensively. He's not spectacular. He's good. He's just not anything like whoa, like mind boggling. He doesn't know anything, which sucks. And I think having +2 in everything does mean he kind of isn't the best at dealing fire, wind, or physical damage, but he's just overall just like a decent one in all three at one character, and I think that plus having endure makes him pretty good, and having a good passive skill also as well is great. Yeah, so B plus. Yeah, I think he deserves B plus. I don't think there's anyone, but yeah. Next is Principality. Principality. Uh. Oh, he has. Oh, is he the first one with? Ooh. Ooh. Um. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna put Principality in B. Yeah, I'm gonna put him in B. Eh. Yeah. No. B. Where is he? Okay, Principality. I think Principality is B at least. I might be too. He's top of B. I feel like this should probably go lower, but anyway. Principality. Principality is defensively is nullifies light and is weak to dark and seal. So he's weak to insta magic, which sucks. Always. Stat wise, he has insanely high magic at 34, and then the rest of his stats are okay to bad. His innate skill is Blessed Melody, which just means he deal All party members get increased damage, restricting like light weakness. His starting skills, he starts with Mahama and Diorama. First time we're seeing Diorama. Diorama is moderate HP recovery to one ally, which is nice. He then learns by level up Hamon, Light Block, and Light Mana Aid. Hamon is the first heavy magic attack that a demon can get. That the earliest heavy magic attack. No, okay, hold on. Let me rephrase this. Ha- Hamon is a heavy light attack. Principality is the earliest demon to get a heavy magic attack, and the magic attack he gets is Hamon, which is the light version of that. And then Light Mana Aid is after every battle he will restore a little bit of MP, which is okay. It kind of helps if you're doing multiple like normal battles in a row, but other than that, it's not super great. I think potential wise, he has +4 in light, +2 in healing, and +1 in support. Overall, I think he is B because of having Hamon and being able to do that really nice light damage, that really good light damage. But outside of that, he doesn't really have anything going for him. Diorama is kind of nice, and being +2 in it is nice. But I find that having party wide healing is better than having one target healing usually. In from my personal preference, I yeah, I'd rather have a demon with media than a demon with diorama, because how boss fights work is usually a lot of your party is damaged. Usually a boss doesn't like hard focus at one of you, so more than likely you want to be healing your whole party instead of just one demon, in my opinion. So I think if he had media, I'd put him higher. I do think he gets at the very least B, just because of having a heavy magic attack this early and having really good magic. But I think what holds him back is that outside of Haman, he doesn't really have anything great. He basically has Haman, Diorama, and that's it. Mahama is not great at this stage. Not that great at this stage. Light Block is okay. It's kind of niche. It's not. I think physical block is much better. That is the best one of the block skills. Light block is only good if a boss uses light, and I don't think there's any bosses that use light around the stage where you get him. Because I'm trying to think. The only boss that uses light magic is Principality, and you'll probably, if you side with him on his quest, you'll get him, and the only way to get him is you have to side with him, so you won't be fighting Principality unless you fuse Principality, and then yeah. But other than that, there's no demons around. There's no bosses around when you fight him that use light magic. I don't think there are any. I'm trying to think, because it's Lopkaru or Esheth who are physical and lightning. Fionn is physical ice and fire. Loki is just elements, but he's not light, except light. I guess Toth, but no, Toth is almighty. Yeah, there really isn't any, is there? So his whole light block is kind of useless. There aren't even really any demons that focus on light, except for like I guess the origami, the paper dude. But even then, he's like, I don't know. So I think light block is very useless. Light mana isn't great. So I think overall his skill set is kind of mediocre outside of just having Haman, which is a really good skill. And then Diorama is nice, but I think having Meteor is just better. But overall, I think he gets at least B because +4 in light is great. +4 is light great means he's just good damage. +2 in healing means he's good. He learned stuff for all the potentials he has, and he's good. I think B is pretty good. I think some people would probably rate him higher just because of the heavy light skill. But I'm just rating him a bit lower because realistically, there aren't that many. A lot of his skills are kind of just not great or kind of like just okay, and I feel like being weak to an insta-kill magic does suck, and he doesn't have something that's like super duper amazing for any bosses or anything, if that makes sense. Like I feel like I'm being too harsh with Principality, but I also feel like he's not like super amazing. If he joined like slightly earlier or slightly later, I feel like he would be better. But he's just at a weird point where he's like a light user when there isn't really any bosses that are weak to light, and he doesn't, and there's no bosses that use a lot of light magic, so you don't really get to take advantage of his light block, which is one of his main skills, or like his normal light. If that makes sense, I don't know. Maybe I just sound like I'm full of shit, but I don't know. I think B is still great. Like being B is still like top. Is still like good. Like he's not bad in any way. He's still a good choice. Like I think C is like just like C is like okay. Like in the C tier, you're like okay, and it's only when you're in like D that you're like bad or have a lot of flaws. But yeah, yeah. Yeah. Okay, next one. Shiki OG. Shiki OG. Um. mm, huh. Okay. I'm torn on this one because Shiki OG has one thing that's really good and one is a thing that kind of sucks. I think I'm gonna put him in C plus. I think. Well, yeah, yeah, I'll put him in C plus. We go. There you went. Okay, I'm gonna put him in C plus. Or should I put him in C? I'll put him in C. I think he's better than Mary Pixie. I think these guys are better than Mary Pixie. I think she's better than this. Sorry, this is probably better than these guys. Okay. Shiki OG. I think I'm gonna put him in C. I was thinking between C plus and C, but I think actually no. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm actually gonna put him in C plus, mainly because of his resist to physical. Yeah, I'm gonna put him in mid C plus because of his resist to physical. So defensively, Shiki OG resists physical, light, and dark, and is weak to fire, wind, and confusion. Stat wise, he's decent across the board and has good magic with 29. His innate skill is ward off evil. It just means your team has an increased chance of naturally like healing themselves from ailments. His starting skills are Hama and Mudo, and he gets Makajama, Mahama, and Ribarama by level up. Um, he potential wise, he has +2 in light, +2 in dark, and +1 in ailments. I put Shiki OG in C plus not because of his skill set, which is kind of garbage, not because of his innate skill, which is kind of also garbage, but mainly because he resists physical at a time in the game where you have to fight two really pretty tough physical bosses. The main two mid bosses in the second main area, no matter which route you take, do have really strong physical attacks. So having a physical resist is actually really nice. And if you're on vengeance, the first one can't even hit him for his weakness. Unfortunately, which is Eshith. Eshith can't, and neither can Lopgaru. Unfortunately, Fion can, but he'd have to hit with a fire attack. Um, I think being able to resist physical is really useful for those bosses. Now, Shiki Oji is a little bit high level for Eshith slash Lobgaru, but honestly, that is one of those bosses where it's kind of nice to be a little bit over leveled for them. Plus, you can get him before those bosses because there are a couple of them in the area before that, so you can get him before that. So he's perfectly frank to talk about him for those bosses, I think. So I think overall, because he resists physical before two really tough physical bosses, and I mean like hard, like they're tough to get through because they will do a ton of damage. I think because of that, he at least deserves C plus, and he deserves a mention because he is good for those bosses, and those bosses are hard. They're like one of the first them along with Nuwa are the bosses that are like, hey, this game isn't like this game isn't fucking around. Like this game is just gonna fucking throw shit at you with bosses. So yeah, I think he doesn't get any higher than that because he is weak to two things. Although luckily neither of them are insta kill, which is great. His innate skill isn't that great, and I think his skill set in and of itself is not good. Like his highest damaging skill is Hama or Mudo at a time where we're transitioning to medium magic, and he has no medium magic, which does suck. And I think his potentials are not great either at being +2. But I think he deserves at least C plus just solely because of the physical resist. And he is the only demon around this level point that has a physical resist, other than Oni, 6 levels back, which level disadvantage does hurt a demon quite a bit in terms of like tankiness. So I think overall he gets it because of the physical resist. If he did not have a physical resist, he would be D. Or like he would be like D. Like there's nothing remarkable about him without the physical resist. The physical resist is what brings him up. If he did not have the physical resist, I would not rate him this high. And if it wasn't like two really hard physical bosses. Anyway. Next one. Mothman. Mothman. Uh, oh yeah. Oh no, poor Mothman. I'm gonna be real frank. Wait, what is defensively? I'm gonna be real frank with Mothman. Mothman is a C minus at best. You know what? Mothman is a low C minus. I'm sorry. Mothman is not great. Where's Mothman? Yeah, Mothman is. You know what? I think he might even be D plus. Okay, let's go with Mothman. Mothman defensively, he nullifies electricity, resists poison and mirage, and is weak to wind. Stat wise, his stats suck. I'm gonna be perfectly frank. 17 strength, 15 magic at this rate. He's terrible offensively. His vitality is okay. All his stats are in agility and luck, which isn't great. It increases his dodge chance, which is so great for hard mode when you're not dodging unless you have like max evasion and the enemy has minimum evasion. So yeah. His passive skill is demonic meditation, so it's the same thing as fairy and the other one. So basically, if you fuck up talking to demons, he can sometimes come in and just be like, "Hey, don't be mad, be glad," and he just like does it. Skill wise, Mothman does have a unique skill. He has Gale Charge, which is a medium strength based force attack to a random foe, and it always crits. Um, Pretty good. He also starts with Zyonga and Pulimpa, and he gets me Patra, Needle Spray, and Electric Block. by level up. Potential wise, he has +1 in electric, +2 in wind, and +4 in ailment, and that's it. I think now positive wise. Positives. Mothman, pretty good, pretty nice agility and speed. Luck, which is his only two good stats. So I guess he can he has a higher chance to dodge stuff. I don't know. His unique skill is good on paper, or if you're fighting one enemy. If you are fighting multiple enemies, his unique skill is bad because you cannot control who he targets. So if there is an enemy that is immune to wind, he might target that and completely fuck your whole turn up. Um, skill outside of the Gale Charge, skill wise, he's all over the place. He has an electric skill, he has a physical skill, he has a healing skill, he has a ailment skill, and he has a block support skill. And he only has potential for the electric and ailment. And his electric potential is not good. He has Zionga, which is a good spell, but at this rate, but only having +1 and having 50 magic means he's not going to be doing much damage with it. His other skills he has no potential with, which fucking sucks, except for Pulimpa, which he has a +4 in, which means he has a decent chance to score Pulimpa, but if you, we had Succubus earlier with +5 in ailment, so, and he didn't score much high on the list with me, so yeah, no. And only having the confusion and only having one ailment and a +4 does kind of stink because you can only cause the one ailment. Now his physical skill is pretty good. It's the 1 to 4 weak physical attacks that have a high chance to crit, but at this rate, we've kind of already transitioned away from relying on weak attacks. So at this stage, it's not going to be doing much damage unless you get the crits or multiple crits. Overall, I think Mothman is just hurt by the fact his skill set is really just feels like random shit. Feels very random and spread out. And he doesn't feel like he prioritized, and he just offensive stats aren't good. And his only decent skill, his one of his two decent skills he has no potential in, basically. And the other one is random target. So yeah, I will not put him lower than D plus just because his random skill does does always crit. So it's good in that respect. But I think overall he's just not good. If he had better stats, I'd put him in C. But his stats are too crap to do anything except spam his unique skill and hope it hits someone that you want it to. And if there's a demon that's immune to wind on the enemy side, you're not going to be using that skill because it can target them and you just lose turns because you can't control the target. So yeah, D plus. I think he's not as bad as the D demons, but honestly, yeah, D plus. Yeah, I don't think he's as bad as D. Who is next? Zisha. Zija. Okay. Ooh. I'm gonna put Zija as. Ooh, but he has 2 notes. I'm gonna put him as. No, I'm gonna put him as C. I'm gonna put him as a decent C. I'll put him as at least C. He's a low C, but I'll put him in C. Defensive wise, Zaysha nullifies ice and light, and is weak to dark and all status conditions. So he's weak to an skill thing, which sucks. Stat wise, he's good in strength, vitality, and magic, and just okay in agility and luck. His innate ability is helmsman, so he raises accuracy for the user, the person that acts after him, and lowers the chance of them missing with mirage, which is eh. Skill wise, he starts with pierce armor, heavy blow, and bufala. Heavy blow being the medium physical attack with a higher crit modifier, and he also gets Hamon and puncture punch. Hamon and puncture punch by level up. Potential wise, he has +3 in physical, +1 in ice, and +1 in light. Overall, skill wise, is pretty good. Having +3 in physical and getting 3 pretty good physical skills is really nice. He gets a pierce physical skill as well, so he doesn't have to worry about any demons that are gonna resist physical, and he can just spam it. Spam his best potential. He has ice and light, and he has potential in both. Although I wish he did have higher than +1, because it does not really reduce the MP cost or make him deal a lot of extra damage. But he does have a heavy magic attack, and he does have a heavy light attack, which is nice. Downsides: his passive ability is kind of crap. It's kind of just mediocre. It's great if you put him in the middle of the party and you have someone who's using low accuracy attacks, but other than that, he's not that great. And I think his weaknesses really hurt him. Being weak to an insta-kill attack just sucks. And also being weak to every ailment means any enemy on hard that's using a status that uses a status condition he will just give them free turns, like straight up. Because how hard mode works, the enemy has a 30% chance to 30% increased chance to inflict ailments. And unless you have a skill later on that this guy doesn't have access to, he's basically going to get hit by every single ailment unless you're lucky, and he will give them extra turns because he's weak to all of them. It is quite frustrating. But despite those annoyances, I think he still deserves to be in C just because his skill set is good and he is a pretty good physical user for this point, because he is similar to Naga in that he does have Pierce, but unlike Naga, he has higher potential and he has better physical skills outside of having the Pierce skill. And I think he overall has better coverage and can use that coverage more effectively because he has a good magic stat. But other than that, I think he deserves C just because his weaknesses really hold him back. Being weak to all elements just sucks. I don't think he's C minus just because of that. I'm trying to think. Because around his stage, there's no real, really annoying enemies that spam elements. I'm trying to think. No, there really isn't. So it's fine. There's no real enemies that spam ailments yet. I think he gets worse. He'd be worse if he joined later, but right now, he's fine. Okay. Next is Anahita. Anahita is a special fusion. Hold on. Okay. So Anahita's special fusion does have one caveat that will help her. So Anahita, I think Anahita, let me see her stats. What I'm gonna say, I don't think she's at least A. Let me see what I have in B plus. Yeah, I think she's at least A. Well, Yes, A. I think she's at least A. Mainly because of one thing. Where is she? There she is. I think she's at least A. That's right. That's the right one. Anahita. She defensively, she is weak to fire and lightning. She resists confusion and mirage. She nullifies light and she drains ice. There stat wise, she has good magic, decent vitality and agility and luck, and bad strength. Her passive ability is Grace unto Service. When user receives a stat buff from an ally, slight MP recovery to that ally. It's like a very minor amount. I think it's like 10-ish%, which is okay. It's kind of worth. Skill wise, she comes with a unique skill. Hellish Spurt is a medium ice attack to all foes. She also comes at base with Diorama and Racunda. And she also gets Mana Spring, Matamrunda, and Hamon by level up. Mana Spring just increasing her at max MP by I think 10%. And Matamrunda lowering all this is the first time we're seeing Matamrunda lowering all foes attack by 1 for 3 turns. Potential wise, she has +4 in ice, +2 in light, +2 in healing, and +1 in support. Over, I will also mention she is a special fusion, and one of the fusion materials that goes into her is Naga, which has resist fire. So you can get rid of her fire weakness, making it so that she only is weak to electric, and she resists fire instead of being weak to it, which I think is an important point to bring out because it is one of the best skills to give to better skills to give to her through the special fusion inheritance, and she will always have access to this because she always requires Naga to create because you cannot get her in the wild. So I will bring that up. That is one of the caveats I will bring up because she is a special fusion. Which does mean her 2 weaknesses turns into 1. But overall, I think she's pretty good. She's a pretty good ice magic user. Having +4 and being one of the few demons to have a medium spell at this point that hits all enemies is great, and it has a highly reduced cost. She's a good support demon because she can lower the enemy's attack and multiple enemies at the same time with Matamrunda. She has Mana Spring, so she gets even more MP than normal, and she already starts with basically 200, which is insane for that point. So she can quickly get up to like 250 with just 1 level. She has Hamon for doing light damage, and although she only has +2, heavy damage at this rate is pretty good. Although she is the 3rd demon at this point to get heavy light damage, and she is the second best in it. She's better than Zishai at it, so she is the second best at it. Overall, I think she's a pretty good healer / damage. She's pretty good roll compression, as in she can do support, healing, and ice and light damage for your party all in one. Her defensively, she's pretty fucking good if you pass her resist fire, which I will mention again because she is a special fusion. So I will mention, and she's not like other demons where like you could give her any skill through like fusion, doing weird fusions. She can only be fused one way. I think overall her passive is pretty good because this is a game where you need to buff and debuff yourself. So she will just give MP back to the people who are buffing her, which is nice, a nice little boost. Overall, I think she's pretty good. I think what prevents her from being any higher is the fact that she doesn't have media at base, so she can only heal one ally. So her roll compression is not the best when it comes to healing. And I think not having a normal ice type attack, a medium ice type attack, or just like a single target ice type attack does hurt her. I think she can get one through fusion. No, because she's Nyami Nami. Hold on, no. Yeah, because she's Nami Nami Naga and I think Fortuna. I think she uses Fortuna. Yeah, I think she uses Fortuna, so she can't get one naturally, which does stink. So you do have to give her one, which does, unfortunately, you would have to give her one through essences, which I can't count for as a positive for her, which does suck, which is a little bit of a negative because you're stuck with like a enemy, multiple enemy wide ice type attack. But still, she does good ice damage. She does decent light damage. She has roll compression. She's pretty good. She has a good passive ability. If you give her resist fire, she has a really good defensive profile. And overall, yeah, I think she's pretty good. I think she's a good choice for a team member at this point. Just not getting any higher than what I'd put her as, just because of those slight annoyances. But yeah, I think is pretty good for her. Yeah, I don't think she gets A plus in Matador because Matador is like a whole tier above these guys. Yeah. Next one is Yakshini. Yakshini. Uh, yeah. I'm gonna be real frank with Yakshini. This is like a C minus or a D plus if I ever saw one. I'm gonna be a little bit mean. Yeah, no. Is this like? Is this a D? Is this a D? This might be a D. Let me look at it some more. I'm looking at her skill set. Yeah, I think this is a D. Yeah. Yeah, because there's nothing going for this one. Yeah, this is a D to me. Okay, so Yakshini. Defensively, they are weak to lightning and seal, and they nullify wind. Stat wise, they're pretty good in the physical department 31 strength, 25 vitality, 24 agility. Okay luck, bad magic. Innate skill wise, they start with Pandemonic Feast, which we've talked about before. Blah 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 blah. When you got the Magakoi effect, you do your multi-hit attacks, deal more, hit more, and have higher accuracy. Cool. Skill wise, she starts with Venom Chaser and Counter, and she gets Pierce Armor, Resist Dark, and Zama by level up. So if you do level her up, she will get her. She will defensively get a Resist to Dark, which is nice. Um, I think Yakshini is pretty bad. Not because of her stats. Her stats are pretty good for this point in the game. It's mainly because of her skill set. Her skill set is, let's be honest, it's shit. Her innate skill is not great. It's a niche skill that only really works if you're using a lot of multi-hit attacks that hit multiple times, and you'd have to set that up with multiple demons. And overall, she herself doesn't benefit from this because she doesn't have any multi-hit skills. She starts with Venom Chaser with no way to poison, so she can't get the boosted effect from it, which sucks. Pierce Armor is good, but Pierce Armor is decent, but she doesn't have any medium physical skills with 31 strength, which is a crime at this point. And she also, her only other skill is medium wind attack when she has 14 magic, which means she's not doing any damage with it. Potential wise, she only has +2 in physical and +2 in wind, which is not great, especially if you only have weak at physical attacks and you only have 14 magic for your one wind attack. Overall, I don't think she's good. I think she has potential. I feel if she had a medium physical skill, she'd be really good. If she had but her shit skill set just bogs her down so much. Like she's not gonna do any damage. Like they get she's like another one of those demons that has Venom Chaser but no way to inflict poison, which is just like why. I know, like I don't know. It's like I don't think she's that good. Like skill inheritance, obviously, of course, you could give her like skills that benefit from it, but like she doesn't have any potential for ailments, so she herself is not going to be the poisoner ever, because even especially on hard mode, because she just doesn't have any increased chance to inflict ailments. It's just like, I don't know. I don't think she's good. I think she's one of the more. I think she's just like you put her in your party to just level up to get resist dark, and you just fuse her away to give resist dark to something. I don't think she's good. I think her shit skill set really. I think her shit skill set and the fact that her one good skill is like held back by the fact that she only has 14 magic is like what fucking ruins her. If she had more magic, I would at least put her in C, but like she doesn't, and she's just not good. So yeah, D. She's not good. Um, yeah, it's just really unfortunate. Next is Loa. Okay. Okay. Loa. Okay. So Loa, I'm gonna be trying to think. Nah. I think Loa is a D plus to C minus. No, I think he's at least C minus. Yeah, no, I think he's a C minus at least, at most, honestly. Okay, so Loa, defensive wise, he is immune to poison and dark, and he is weak to light. So being weak to an mystical attack sucks. Stat wise, he's a magic user. Good magic, decent agility and good agility and luck. Bad strength and vitality. His innate skill is taboo. While in the active party, ailment efficacy and insta kill chances will go up for all, and ailment recovery chances will go down. Basically means ailments will have a higher chance of hitting, and you have a higher chance of insta killing stuff, but the chance of recovering from an ailment goes down, and this affects everyone, including enemies. Skill wise, he starts with Toxic Sting and Poison Adept. Poison. This is the first time we're seeing Poison Adept. He is the first human to learn Poison Adept. Basically means he increases the effects of poison, which means poison will deal more damage if Loa inflicts it. The other skills he learns by level up are Mamudo, Madoon, and Dark Block. This is the first time we're seeing Madoon. Madoon is the heavy dark magic attack, and it hits one person. Potential wise, he has +3 in dark and +4 in ailments, and that's it. Um, Loa defensively and stat wise isn't bad. I think skill wise, it's another demon that again skill wise it fucks itself. Its innate skill is not good on hard because while it increases your insta kill and ailment chance, it also increases the enemies even more. And on hard mode, they already have a 30% extra chance to insta kill you and a 30% extra chance to inflict ailments. And that just makes it fucking so much fucking harder. That makes it so much fucking harder with enemies that involve that. And ailments and insta kill effects are already a pain in the ass on hard. And this thing just makes it so much worse for you. Um Other negative, it starts off with a physical skill as its only means to attack until it levels up once, in which it gets a weak dark attack, which is not great. And it takes 2 levels to get a actually good magic attack, which sucks. Um, and the fact that it doesn't have any physical potential as well just means it's doing pitiful fucking damage unless you get the poison proc. If you get the poison proc, great. If you do not, you're fucking doing nothing with Loa until you get Mahmudon. Once it gets Mahmudon, I think it becomes a decent demon because then it's doing decent dark damage with its good magic and good potential in dark. but I think I have to rate it C minus because its start is so bad. It's starting off it's so bad, but I think just because it gets moved on after 2 levels, and I think at least or 2 or 3, and at that once it gets it, it becomes pretty good it becomes a pretty good dark magic attacker. I think it does deserve a little bit more credit than other stuff in D plus, and F, where they like at least D and D plus, where it's like they're going to struggle throughout. I feel like C minus is like the stuff where it's like they struggle early, but they either have like are mediocre throughout, or kind of like throughout, or it's like they kind of have something where they can get that little bit of boost and become at least decent. But I think overall low is like C minus. Yeah, but I think overall it's like C minus. Yeah, it's nothing spectacular. I don't know. But yeah, it was C plus. All right, next is Daisojo. Daisojo. Okay. Um I'm gonna be frank. I'm not a huge fan of Daisojo in this game. I think I liked him a lot better in Nocturne than in this game. In this game, I'm gonna say Daisojo is a high B minus. And he's probably gonna be the lowest rated fiend. Probably. Most likely. I think Daisojo is nowhere near as good as he is in Nocturne. And I think that's because of how his one of his main unique skills was changed, and just how where he is in the game. So Daisojo is defensive wise, he is weak to fire, he resists charm, confusion, and sleep, and he is immune to light and dark. Stat wise, he's heavily focused on magic and luck. He has 30. He's great magic. He's good magic, good luck. 36 magic, 30 luck. So he has great in both of those. Vitality is okay. Agility is not great, and strength is bad. His innate skill is willpower. While in the active party, allies afflicted with charm will be more likely to perform the correct action. So niche. Most of the time, you want to actually cure a charm. You don't want to leave it on your party members. Daisojo comes with 2 unique skills, and he starts with both of them. His first one is Preach, which is an ailment skill that has a chance of inflicting confusion, charm, or sleep to all foes. It will do a random one of the 3, I believe. And I believe if the enemy is weak to one of them, then it will prioritize that over the others. I'm not sure how it works. His second unique skill is Meditation, which is a weak almighty HP and MP drain attack to one foe reduced cost. With a reduced cost. Um which is a pretty good skill, in my opinion. It's like his main skill, and it is a good skill. It does give him quite a bit of MP back in HP. His other starting skill is Mahama, which is a weak light attack to all foes. Through level up, he gets Mamudo, which is a weak dark attack to all foes. He gets Light Pleroma and Great Curse Siphon. He's the first demon to get both Light Pleroma and Great Curse Siphon. How the Pleroma skills work is the base Pleroma skills, I believe, increase your damage of the certain element by I think it's like 10%. It might be 20. Hold on, I know someone sent me the thing for it. Let me look it up on my phone. Yeah, no, it's a 20% increased damage modifier. So he does get a 20% increased damage on his Mahama. And then Great Curse Siphon is basically Curse Siphon, but double the MP cost, MP restore. So instead of restoring 10 MP when he inflicts an ailment, he restores 20. Over and potential wise, he has +4 in light and dark, +3 in ailment, and +1 in recovery. Even though he does not learn any healing, recovery or healing skills. Overall, I think his skill set is kind of weak in this game. He only has weak magic for offensive, which sucks. He does come with a unique Almighty skill, which is great, and it's an HP and MP drain skill, which is great. The problem is he has no potential in Almighty, so he does the least amount of damage with it, which sucks. He is pretty good at light damage because of the plus 20% increase to damage he gets, but he's also only using a weak enemy wide skill instead of a weak single target or even medium, which does also suck. His other focus on ailments, which isn't great on higher difficulties because you have a reduced chance to get ailments. And it's only just normal. It's not like a high chance to inflict ailments with Preach. Now, he is a special summon, so I will look up... I have to look up the special fusions, which does kind of suck because it does lure me. So yes, let me see what fuses into him. Okay. Yeah, his it is also unfortunate that his special fusions don't his fusion materials don't really give him anything cool outside of Endure from Attis, because he's basically Kodama, Sudama, and Attis, and the only really good thing he gets is Endure from Attis. So he can get Endure through so he can have Endure naturally, which is it's a good skill. It is a good skill. Don't get me wrong. I will never hate on Endure because Endure is great. But other than that, he's just kind of like, eh. His skill set is kind of meh. The only reason why I put him so high is because defensively, he's pretty good. Nullifying both types of insta-kill magic is great. And the fact that like he doesn't have MP issues like other demons because meditation will just fix any issue he has with MP. If he gets on an MP, all he has to do is spam meditation a couple times and he'll have enough MP to do whatever he wants to. I think what holds him back is that outside of meditation, his skill set is kind of bad. Yeah, like only having weak magic and ailment infliction is just not great. And not having a healing skill in this game, not learning a healing skill in this game just kind of also hurts him because like the reason why he was one of the best demons in Nocturne is because he had a healing skill. So he could restore his MP and use healing. And in this game he just doesn't have that at base. You have to like use essences to give him a healing skill, and I think that hurts him a lot. If he had a healing skill, he would be instantaneously A+. If he had media, I would put him in A+. Just because he could like just because then he would be a really good support demon. But I think overall he's in a really weird spot of he's trying to be an offensive demon that doesn't have MP issues, but he just doesn't have the offensive skill set to make it work. And he's kind of like in this weird limbo where he wants to just inflict ailments, and which isn't great on hard, and it's just like, yeah, no. I don't know. I think he has issues. So yeah. B minus. Every time I use him, I'm like, oh cool, I get cool meditation, and then all I do is basically mainly use meditation, and that's it, because he just doesn't really have another skill set where I have to use essences to give him like anything worth a damn. But yeah. He's okay. Hold on, I'm gonna pause it real quick. Okay, next demon. Kelpie! Oh no. Oh no. Oh yeah. Kelpie? Yeah, no. This is gonna be a big oof for me. This is gonna be a big oof for me, dog. Well, eh, eh. Okay. Kelpie. Yeah, I'm gonna be real frank with this. This is a D plus if I ever saw one. D plus. Might even be D. Nah, D plus. Eh. Okay. Kelpie, I'm gonna put it in D plus for right now. Defensive wise, it blocks Mirage, resists ice, and is weak to wind. Stat wise, it's not great. Pretty bad in everything except for agility, which is 29. Its passive ability is Restorative Melody, while in the active party reduces MP cost of healing skills for all allies, which is nice. Skill wise, it starts with Berserker God, Diorama, and Inspiring Leader, and gets Justoma, Masukunda, and Resist Electric by level up, so it does get a second resist. Potential wise, it has +3 in healing, +1 in support, and that's it. And it kind of sucks. We're not gonna lie. Um, the only thing it has going for it is +3 diorama, and that's it. Defensive wise, it's not great. It's not anything spectacular, being only resisting 2 elements at best, and it nullifies a status condition that is not kind of like not really much seen much at this stage. Inspiring leader is a niche skill that eventually it almost always is going to proc because you level up, the main character levels up faster than any demons, but overall it's not that great. Berserker God is like an okay skill, is an okay like damn is like a good physical skill at this point, but also no potential and just okay strength means it's not doing much. Um Its skill set is kind of like everywhere. I think what holds it back is its skill set isn't great and its potentials are just crap. Only having like really good in recovery, and that's it. Like even its only other skill thing that has potential in, which is support, is +1, which isn't super great for a buffer at this stage. You kind of want +2 or higher, and at this stage, only having +1 just kind of means you're using a lot of MP. Um, Skill wise, I think its best skill is definitely Masakunda, which is a good skill. Don't let me wrong. Masakunda is a good skill. Lowers the enemy evasion and accuracy by 1 for 3 ranks, and it does to all enemies. But only having +1 means it costs a lot of MP, and it's just not great. I think if you wanted a buffer, you just use like anyone. You just use like Apsaris, and it doesn't even get like I don't know. It's just not very good. Like if you like, I feel like there are better ways to do it. Like Serenop, you just raise your own, or you just use someone else. It's just a factor of its skill set doesn't really vibe well together with its other skills or its potentials. I will say it does get above the bottom 2 tiers just because its innate skill is good. Restorative Melody is just nice for any other healers you have in the party, but also you don't really want, you're probably, if you're bringing Kelpie, you're probably using it as your main healer, which means you're not really stacking healing. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's just Z plus. I think it does have merit with +3 in diorama and using Masakunda. But other than that, I just don't think this thing is like great. It's just kind of like a mediocre buffer slash healer, and there are much better options you have at this stage that you can get for either of those. With yeah, just base. Yeah, no, I don't think it's very good. Next is Piasca. So I'm checking this real quick. I'm gonna be honest, this is like a C minus at best. Well, Piasca, I'm gonna, yeah, I'm gonna put it at C minus. Yeah, no, I don't think it's as good as these. Yeah, I'm gonna set it as a C minus. Piasca defensively, it nullifies dark and is weak to fire and light, which being weak to instant magic sucks. Stat wise, it's kind of like all over the place. It has good strength, decent vitality, terrible magic, good agility, and decent luck. 30 agility, yeah. Its innate skill is Forager. It just means you get a lower chance for when relics come back when it's in the party. Skill wise, it starts skill wise for start off. It starts with Damascus Claw. This is the first time we're seeing it. Damascus Claw is 2 to 3 medium attacks to a singular foe. 2 to 3 medium physical attacks to a singular foe, and then it also gets Fang Breaker and Life Drain at the start, and then by level up it gets Madness Needle, Resist Fire, and Bloody Glee. So defensively, it does get rid of its fire weakness eventually. Um, Potential wise, it has +2 in physical, +2 in dark, and +1 in ailment. Overall, it's kind of mediocre. Its potentials just it's like suck. Potential wise, it just sucks. Having +2 in dark with no dark skills, like why? Having +1 in ailment and only having one physical skill that can cause ailments. Also, why? You're never gonna proc it on hard the ailment. Um, Basically, this thing is just spam Damascus Claw, and it's not even super great at that because it's only +2. At this stage, you kind of want +3 in your main offensive to be good. I think personally, at this stage, like you want +3 as your main offensive. Otherwise, you're just not dealing great damage. Life Drain is decent. Fang Breaker is okay. Madness Needle is whatever, kind of bad at this stage. Resist getting rid of her weakness is nice, and Bloody Glee is always nice because it's an increased crit rate. But yeah, um, overall, I just don't think he's that great. I think he's just kind of bad for the most part. I will say he does get higher than the D ranks just because he does have one of the better physical skills at this point, Damascus Claw, and he can with Bloody Glee he can get a decent crit rate with it, and he can just spam it honestly, and it doesn't really matter. Um, he just spams that, and he doesn't really need anything else. But other than that, he's kind of just bad. Weakness wise, he sucks. Like I don't know, he's just overall he's just not good. I think there's much better. If you wanted a physical demon, there are much better options. If you wanted something that, yeah, no. If you just wanted like a physical demon, which is what he is, there are just better options at this point. So yeah. Next, Basilisk. Basilisk. Okay, let me look at Basilisk. Yeah, I'm gonna be real frank with Basilisk. I think this is a D. Might even be an F. No, I think this is actually an F. Yeah, this is an F, especially on higher difficulties. Yeah, I'm gonna be real frank with Basilisk. I'm gonna be hard on this one, just because of how what we've been getting into starting to get into at this point. This is a straight F. This is a straight F. I'm sorry, I'm not a big fan of Basilisk. So Basilisk, defensive wise, it resists fire, ice, and poison, and is weak to lightning. Stat wise, it has great vitality at 31, good strength, crap magic, and decent agility and luck, and like good agility and luck. Just not decent, good. Its innate skill is Deathly Affliction. It raises all allies' accuracy and critical rate against foes that have ailments while in the party. Its starting skills are Crusher Onslaught, which is a medium physical attack to everyone, but all foes, but it has low accuracy, and Toxic Cloud, which is the upgrade to Poisonma, which has a chance to inflict everyone with poison. Chance to inflict all foes with poison. It comes with Fogna, chance of inflicting Mirage to all foes. It also comes with Curse Siphon and Taunt. And potential wise, it has +2 in Ice and +5 in Ailment. This thing is shit. I'm gonna be real frank with you. This thing is garbage. Only offensive skill is Crusher Onslaught, which has low accuracy and it has no potential in physical, so it's shit. Its whole gimmick is that it wants to wants to give the enemy a status so that it can actually hit its only offensive skill, and that's it. Curse Siphon, it'll restore 10 MP when it hits the ailment, but on higher difficulties, you're not gonna get that, even with +5, unless you have a skill that gives high ailment chance. Taunt is okay for it, but it doesn't have any skills to take advantage of taunt. And yeah, it's pretty bad. Its skill set is abysmal. Its passive skill is like niche as fuck, especially on higher difficulties where your ailment chance is heavily reduced. And I think the only good things about it are defensively it's all right. No nullification sucks, but like it does have 3 resists, and it is pretty tanky with having 31 vitality. But overall, this thing is really bad. In demons that are heavily focused on ailments are just not good for higher difficulties, like on hard. Like on hard mode, demons that focus on ailments just really suffer because of the reduced ailment chance. So unless they have either like a skill that like gives a really high chance of inflicting ailments, or like the only way ailment demons work on hard mode, in my personal opinion, is when they have a skill that does something else while inflicting an ailment. But if it's just like focused on inflicting ailments, I don't think it works, and I think it's like not great. I don't know. I don't think Basilisk. I think Basilisk is pretty fucking bad. I don't see a way you put this in the party willingly unless you're trying to do an ailment thing where you're trying to do heavy on ailments, and on hard mode you're just not gonna have fun with that, and his skill set doesn't even work with that because its only offensive skill is low accuracy, with which it doesn't have any potential in, and it gets the only other skills it gets other than 2 ailments, and that is taunt, and it's like, what the fuck. If it got an ice skill, like maybe it would be like D, but like it has +2 in ice, but it doesn't learn any ice skills. Like what the fuck? Like yeah, no, I think it's honestly worse than the other two, because at least the other two, their other offensive skill was not low accuracy and they had potential in it. This thing doesn't fucking get that. Yeah, no, Basilisk is fucking awful. Yeah, no, Basilisk fucking atrocious. Nah, I do not like Basilisk. Yeah, no. Basilisk going in the bottom. Hold on. Alright, next demon Fornius. I. Ooh. I think Fornius is. I think Fornius is C plus. At least. Maybe B minus. No, I think C plus. Yeah, no, I don't think it's B minus. Yeah, no, I think it's C plus. All right, Fornius. Defensive wise, it is weak to electric and light. It nullifies dark and it drains ice. So again, being weak to an instant magic sucks, and also having two weaknesses sucks. But having a null and a drain is great, certainly. Stat wise, he's pretty mediocre to okay across the board. Doesn't really have any stats that stand out, but no stats that are like horrendous. His innate skill is Best Friend. When an ally with kept waiting is in the active party, user stat debuffs will lower stats by 2 ranks. This is a very weird innate skill because there's only one other demon that has kept waiting, as far as I can remember, and that is Decarbia, which is a I think a reference to a quest in Nocturne where Fornius was the very first boss in Nocturne, and there was a Decarbia in the very next area that was like, "Hey, where's my buddy Fornius? I've been waiting around here all day," which is kind of like I think it's a reference to that. Um, um, Skill wise, he starts with Mabufala, which is a medium ice attack to all foes, Ice Breath, and Marukunda, which lowers defense of all foes by 1 rank. And then by level up, he gets Fogna, Ice Block, and Mana Spring. Potential wise, he has +4 in Ice, +2 in Dark, +2 in Ailment, and +2 in Support. Um, Overall, I think he's okay. He's pretty okay. Um, Having two weaknesses sucks. Even though he does, but it is compensated by a no on a drain. So at this stage, so I that those kind of balance each other out. His innate skill is useless, unfortunately. Decarbia is so much later in the game than Fornius that like you can't really take advantage of the innate skill because he's just going to be so much lower level, and he's not. It's going to take a lot of grimoires to like get him up to the point where he can use his innate skill with the other demon that gets it. It's just not worth it. Skill wise, his skill set is pretty decent. It's mainly just ice damage and support. With a random ailment thrown in there. Um, Potential wise, pretty good. +4 in his main damage skill is always great. It's great at this point. He has +2 in dark for some reason, even though he doesn't get any dark skills, which like, you know, whatever. It's like at this point we've seen so many of that like that. It still sucks though. He doesn't get a dark skill, but it is what it is. He does have mana spring, so he will get like an extra like good chunk of mana, which is like another use of something. I think his one downside is that he does have two weaknesses, including an insta kill weakness, which sucks, and the fact that his main ice attacks are all multiple enemy hits, and he doesn't have a single target one, which is a little bit unfortunate. I wish he did have like a single target ice attack instead of just a enemy wide one or a random attack one, because if there's an enemy there that knows ice, he can't really play around that because he either has random targeting or hits everyone regardless, which just kind of suck. Um, The other thing that sucks is that offensively, outside of ice, he doesn't have anything, so he is very limited in that regard. But I think he is a good ice user, and I think he does deserve at least C+, because having a drain and a null is nice, and I think he does do good. He does actually do good ice damage. It's just the fact that like he's held back by um not being not having like another type of offensive magic and just kind of being like okay stat wise. Yeah, so I think C plus is good for him. All right, next is Huapo. 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 Wappa 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 wappa. I don't know what I'm saying. All right. I'm gonna put Huapo in C. They're just eh. I'm gonna be honest. They're just okay. They're not great. They're not bad. They're just okay. Where's Huapo? There. I want to put them in C. Okay. The middle of C. Huapo, defensively, no, blocks fire and is weak to ice and mirage. Stat wise, they're just magic focused. High, good magic, good agility, good luck. Okay vitality, bad strength. Their innate skill is fire gestalt. Increases the damage of uses increases their fire attack damage with based on fire potential of the party. They start with a Galio and Miragi, and they get Matarunda, Light Mana Aid, and Media by level up. Potential wise, they have +2 in fire and +1 in healing and support. Overall, they're just decent. They're okay. They do decent fire damage. They have decent healing with media, and they have decent support by lowering the enemy's attack. What holds them back is just their potentials. Their potential sucks. Let's be real. +2 for an offensive at this point just is, as we've mentioned before, just isn't enough. And only having +1 in healing and support means they're just like their healing and mana, their healing and support skill, their media Matarunda just chunk their MP quite a bit, and they're not even that great at it. The other thing is that like stat wise, they're kind of just like lower than everything else. It this like their mana isn't amazing. No, never mind. I'm just gonna ignore that. Sorry, I'm like tired. I've just had 6 hours of work, and it's just like I'm trying. I did this immediately afterwards, so my brain is kind of like, But yeah, I don't know. They're okay. I don't think they're like bad in a sense. I just because I think they do. There is a positive to having media, which is party white healing, and they do have, and they are a kind of decent healer slash supporter. I just think they're just okay because of their low potential. If they had higher potential, I'd probably rate them like higher, obviously, because they can do more damage. But I think what holds them back is their shit potential. If they had higher potentials, I would definitely rate them higher. But like only having +2 and +1 and the stuff you want, it's just like, nah, it's not good enough at this stage. So yeah, yeah, no, yeah. All right, next is Dis. Dis. Yeah, I'll be honest. This is a D for me. Okay, this is a D for me. Yeah. Dis. Okay, so defense wise, Dis resists fire, ice, lightning, and wind, nullifies seal, and is weak to physical. Stat wise, they're mediocre across the board. Their innate skill is Plank of Norn. When returning to the stock on your own turn, a press turn icon will not be consumed. So if you swap them out with another demon on their turn, you will not lose. You will not lose a turn. Skill wise, they start with Diorama, Electric Block, and Ice Block, and they get Fire Block, Force Block, and Meat Patra by level up. They are the first demon to get Meat Patra, which heals status ailments for all allies or cures them. Potential wise, they have +2 in healing and +2 in support, and that's it. Um, Overall, they're not great. I understand what they were going for with this. Having a lot of block skills, being basically making them a full support demon, but they're very very niche. Um, their only way they can deal damage is with the basic attack at base, which is awful. They don't even get the unique skill that the skill yeah, they don't even get the healing skill that they are the earliest to get until until at least 3 levels, which kind of sucks. Um, Being weak to physical is just atrocious. Um, because every single enemy and boss in the game can hit you physically. So being weak to it means you just are asking to give extra. You're basically asking to give the enemy extra turns. And Dis doesn't really have anything to compensate for being weak to physical. Like they don't have any blocking nullifications outside of one ailment, and they don't really have any skills that are like that amazing to warrant putting them on the team, if that makes sense. I think they're not F because I do see the niche of like putting them on the squad if you're fighting a demon that like has really annoying elemental attacks and you want Dis to block them so you can use a certain demon, then I say Dis is kind of valid. But being weak to other than that, I think Dis is just not a good demon. I've never really had a point while playing the game where I went like, oh, I want to add Dis to the party because I can they can block an element for me. Like I never really had that, and I only put them in D because of that and the fact that they are the earliest demon to get me Patra, which is useful. Sorry, I'm like watching something. But yeah, no, I think they're D. Okay. Sorry, I got distracted. But yeah, no, Dis is like not great. And like they're not like, and even for like if you did the caveat of fusion, they're not even good for fusion because they don't give the only good skill they give us me Patra, and that's it. Yeah, D. I think they don't deserve F just because I can see a niche for them. But yeah, D. All right, next is Lilum. 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 I'm trying to think, right? You see stat wise. Honestly, B. 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 See if the other stuff isn't B. Yeah, B. Yeah, they're just decent. Yeah, B. Good. At this stage, yeah. A B. Or would it be B minus just because? Yeah, no, I'm gonna put it in B minus just because of one caveat. So, Lilum. Defensive wise, they are immune to lightning and charm. They resist sleep and are weak to ice. Stat wise, they have good they have really high magic at 34, good agility and luck, and okay like kind of bad vitality and bad strength. Their passive skill is Allure. While in the active party, they may step forward during negotiations to ensure lesser demands. Basically, when demons start bargaining with you, Lilith will occasionally come in and make them ask for less, whether that be items or money. Skill wise, they start with Myzonga and Marin Karen. Myzonga is a medium electric attack to all foes. And then by level up, they get Zionga, Resist Dark, and Spirit Drain. This is the first demon that learns Spirit Drain, which is a weak Almighty MP Drain attack to one foe. So it's like Life Drain, except for MP. Um, Potential wise, they have +3 in Lightning and +2 in ailments. I think overall they're just a decent electric user. I think what holds them back from being better is the fact that they don't have any offensive skills outside of electric magic. So if something resists or knows electric, you're not really doing much with them. Defensively, I think they're okay. Being immune and having an immunity and a resist for one weakness is good. Especially when you level up and you get the resist dark, so you do get the extra resist. Does good is a demon that does good electric damage. Marion Karen is kind of like whatever elements or whatever. Um, does have Spirit Chain to restore its MP. It will be slow with it because they do not have any almighty potential, but you can eventually start slowly get your MP back with Spirit Chain, which is nice. So they have a way to get MP back. And I think overall they're pretty good electric attacker. I think And again, what holds them back is only having electric magic as their one offensive magic. If they had other magic types, I would rate them higher. I would rate them higher because 34 magic with multiple magic types is great at this point. But I think just because they like only have the one magic type and outside of that all they can do is charm or do a weak physical attack is puts them down to B minus. I think is where I put them, right? Or did I put them in B? Yeah, B minus. Yeah, I think that puts them in B minus, which is fair. It's still good, but yeah. And then next is Chitayu. I think. You know what? I'm gonna put Chitayu in B. Yeah, I'm gonna put B. I'm gonna put Chitayu in B. So no. Mm, yeah, I'm gonna put him in B. Okay, so defensively, Jatayu is weak to lightning and electric and dark, but drains wind. Being weak to an insta kill magic is not fun, and also being weak to two things is also not fun. Stat wise, they're mediocre across the board, balanced, kind of like nothing really stands out, but they're even across the board. There's nothing really that's bad about them, except their magic is kind of meh at this stage, but yeah, just balanced across the board. Their innate skill is critical melody, while in the active party increases crit damage of physical attacks for all allies, which is great. Skill wise, they start with Axel Claw, Mazanma, and Masukaja. Masukukaja. Axel Claw is 2 to 4 medium physical attacks to random foes. Mazanma is medium wind to all foes. And Masukaja is raise accuracy evasion of all allies by 1. And then by level up, they get Force Block, Critical Aura, and Force Pleroma. So they're the first demon to get Force Pleroma, which is 20% extra damage with Force attacks. Potential wise, they have +4 in Wind and +3 in Support. I think overall they are B because of their innate skill and the fact that they have both Critical Aura and Force Pleroma. +4 in Wind is great for offensive, and even though their magic isn't that great, they have Force Pleroma to offset it with Mazanma, which is good, which is a medium force attack. Sucks that it's enemy wide, so if there is an enemy that resists or nulls wind in like a group of ones that are weak to it, you do kind of like it does kind of hurt. Critical Aura is great with their innate skill and Axel Claw. That combos really fucking well. So they both are guaranteed to crit with Axel Claw and on every hit, and it will do extra damage because of their innate skill. I don't know how big the modifier is, but I'm assuming it's at least like 5 to 10%, which is still huge. Um, the only downsides are being weak to two things sucks. Even though they do have a drain, being weak to two things is just sucks in general, which does hold them back. And I think the fact that they have no physical potential also holds them back because Axel Claw does cost a lot, and it doesn't do that much damage without the critical aura, so you do have to set that up. But I think overall they're pretty good, and I also think Force Block is kind of a useless skill on them. It's kind of like whatever, it's like a whatever skill. It's like kind of niche. You use it, it's only gonna be helpful for like very certain things. But yeah, I think this demon is beast solely because of how because of how helpful their passive skill is. If you have a physical Nahobino like main character, or if you have any other physical users in your party, they benefit immensely from critical melody. And the fact that it can benefit from critical melody consistently on its own because it learns critical aura and has a physical skill. Like, and it's like it can be a really good physical skill if there's only one enemy. So overall, I think it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I think it does have downsides, but I think the downsides can be. I think its positives outweigh its downsides a bit. It doesn't outweigh its downsides fully, of course, but it does outweigh its downsides just that little bit enough, you know? And I think that's worth it. So, yeah, I think that makes it pretty okay. Oh, I don't really have anything other to say about it other than I think it's pretty okay. You know? Could be better, but it also could be a lot worse. And we've seen a lot worse on this list. And we're probably going to see a lot worse later on, but this is pretty good. All right, next is Black Slime. Hmm. Okay. I'm gonna be real frank with Black Slime. I'm gonna be probably a real bitch with Black Slime. I'm gonna say it. Black Slime is D plus at best, and it's D plus at best, and that's like pushing it. Okay, Black Slime. Black Slime. Resistance wise, it is the third demon we've seen. No, fourth demon we've seen to resist physical. But to compensate for that, it is weak to fire, light, mirage, confusion, and charm. So it is weak to Inistico magic, which sucks. Stat wise, it has really good vitality at 35, and then the rest is kind of mediocre to bad, with 22 strength, 21 magic, 23 luck, 15 agility. Its passive is virus carrier, so garbage. Magakoi effect is active. If you had a Magakoi effect is active and you hit an ailment, you don't consume a press turn icon. Its starting skills are Toxic Spray and Life Drain. Toxic Spray is inflicts poison to one enemy, can inflict poison to one enemy, and also lowers their defense by one turn but by one for 3 turns, as long as they are not immune to poison. That will always do the defense lowering, and it's just a chance if it inflicts poison or not. And then by level up, they learn Toxic Cloud, Bestial Bite, and Resist Electric. So they do get another resist after a few levels, like 3 or 4. Potential wise, they have +2 in physical, +2 in Almighty, and +2 in +6, sorry, in ailment. They are the first demon to have potential in Almighty, and the earliest demon to have potential in Almighty. Overall, Black Slime kind of sucks. I'm gonna be real honest. It is the highest demon this early to have a +6 in something. Unfortunately, that +6 is an ailment. And while it does have an ailment that does something other than give an ailment, it's not great. It's lower defense, which can be nice. So I will give it that. Other than that, though, its other 2 skills are not great. Life Drain is just Life Drain is okay. And then Bestial Bite is pretty bad in terms of damage, unless you get a crit. At this stage, it's really bad in terms of damage unless you get a crit, and even then, you want to use a medium physical attack. Um, Overall, this thing is pretty bad. The only credit I will give is that it's very tanky with with over 200 HP and 35 vitality. but it is also weak to fire and is also weak to light, which can just insta kill it, negating all its vitality. So, ouch. It doesn't have any great offensive skills. Its best skill is Life Drain, which is only gonna get like maybe 50 health at most. Which does give it 50 health, but also the enemy, if they have a light attack, can just insta kill it, so, you know. And also it's weak to a lot of shit to compensate for the fact that it resists physical, so that also sucks. Um, Overall, I don't think Black Slime is that good. I think having +6 in ailments and having that be your only thing that's even close to plus to like the only thing that's above +3 is wouldn't be as bad if its other two offensive skills were not like kind of bad. Like if it had a medium physical attack, I would at least rate it in like C minus, probably C. But like, man, why does it not have a medium? Why does it not have a better physical attack? Like, bro, come on, come on. Why does it have two poison skills? You're never using Toxic Cloud. You're almost always using Toxic Spray. Like, come on, man. And like, yeah, I don't know. Plus, its passive skill is again completely useless. It's niche as fuck and doesn't help it. And like, you have to get lucky on hard to even get it to work for its specific conditions. So yeah, it's not very good. I think it at least deserves D plus because it does have the niche of being resistant to physical, and it does have almighty potential. So you can give it, I don't know, it does have, extra damage on life drain, which is the first demon to ever have the ability to potentially do that, which is cool. um it does have some cool stuff about it, and it does have an ailment that lowers stats, so I that does something other than just give an ailment. So I will give it that positive in that it has a +6, it has +6 in an ailment, that if you throw it out, you're not just praying for it to give an ailment. You're using it to do something else, and hopefully get an ailment. So at least it gets better than that. So I think that bumps it up to D plus. But I don't know, man. What the fuck do you use this for? You just like, unless you need something like super tanky, and then it's like you have to hope the boss doesn't use fire or light, or have any of the three status Black Slime is weak to. And even then, like, what is Slime doing? It's either throwing out Toxic Spray and just for the defense lowering, or just using Bestial Bite and or Life Drain. It's like, it's not good. It's just not doing good damage. It's just kind of sitting there like a big blob. I don't know. D plus. Don't. Yeah, no, I'm not putting this any higher than D plus. I think it might even be like equivalent to D, but like I think it's at least better than Slime was in its spot. So like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know, man. It has a niche technically because it has multiple weaknesses, but man, I don't fucking know. Um, yeah, I don't fucking know. Next, King Frost. Am I gonna end with King Frost today? Probably. Okay, King Frost. I think King Frost is. Let me see what's in B. I think King Frost is a solid B boy. He's a solid B. Yeah, I'm gonna say he's a solid B. Yeah, I'm gonna say he's a solid B. Now, King Frost is a special fusion, which means he does get skills from other things, but I don't think the skills he gets are like super great. Yeah, I'm gonna put him in B. I'm not looking because I'm already too tired and my brain is like fried, and I don't want to have to go that because I will like lose track and focus. You know what? I'm gonna look it up on my phone. You know what? I'm gonna look it up on my phone. Uh, bu- 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 Oh, I don't care. I don't care. No, I don't care. King Frost. Oh my god. So comes from Barrett, Jack O' Lantern, and Jack Frost. Okay, so Jack Frost gives him ice. Jack O' Lantern gives him fire, which doesn't help him. And Barrett gives him physical, and I think physical. Let me see. This is like here, right? I mean, it gives him bloody glee. Gives him decent physical skills. Okay. After this, like, okay. So special fusion wise, he's not getting much from his fusions. His special fusions. Let's be real. Okay. So yeah, B. All right, King Frost. King Frost, defensive wise, is weak to fire and dark, resists light, and drains ice. It does suck he is weak to an insta-kill magic, and it does suck he is weak to two things, but he does have a null, which is great, which is nice. Stat-wise, he's pretty good offensively, 27 strength, 34 magic. The rest is just decent across the board, at least, so he does have that going for him. His passive is Ice Gestalt, increases the damage of his ice attacks based on the skill potential of ice across the entire party. Um, he does come with a unique skill. King Bufala is a medium ice attack to all foes that lowers their defense by one rank. It's an upgrade to Bufala, which Jack Frost had. This is just a straight upgrade to Bufala that Jack Frost had. He also comes with Bufala and Ice Pleroma, so he does 20% extra damage with his ice magic and ice attacks. By level, and then the skills he gets by level up are Beatdown, Mataru Kaja, and Concentrate. Mataru Kaja being the raise attack of all allies by one rank for 3 turns. Potential wise, he has +5 in ice, +1 in ailment, and +1 in support. Even though he doesn't get any ailment skills nor skills that cause ailments, but whatever. Overall, fusion wise, for the skills he gets from fusion, from his special fusion, because he is a special fusion only demon, he doesn't get much. He gets some physical skills, some fire skills that he can't use because he has -6 in fire, and he gets Haman. I think from no, he doesn't get Haman. He gets like Maham. He gets like the medium light skill from Jack Frost, and that's it. Basically, King Frost does ice attacks, and he does them really fucking well, having +5 in Ice Pleroma, to boost it by another 20%. So he gets basically like a 50% boost to his ice type attacks, which is insane. Other than that, he doesn't really have any other offensive skills except for Beatdown, which sucks because he doesn't have any physical potential. I feel like if he had a little bit of physical potential, he would be better. Like if he had +1 in physical, it would just be that little itty bit better. I think it would bump him up to like B+. Um, his +1 in support is kind of nice to get like the little bit like MP reduction in like his 2 support skills in Concentrate and Madarakaja. But really, King Frost is just a really good ice magic user. Ice magic like beat stick. I'm using like a Yu-Gi-Oh term now, like beat stick. He does ice damage. He does it really well. His King Bufalo skill is nice for weakening the enemies that don't resist or nullify ice. He has a single target ice skill as well, for which is like a thing the most recent ice type demons haven't had, which I think is a major point of that. But other than ice type attacks, all he has going for him is beat down and any physical skills he got from Bareth, which isn't that great because Bareth only had weak physical skills, so he's not getting. So the only really skill he has is beat down, which is great when he has high health, but not when he has taken any damage. And of course, having no potential means he's not doing as much damage as he could be as any other character who specializes in physical, even a little bit. So yeah, overall, I think he's good in the fact that he is your best ice damage user at this point, just because Ice Pleroma and +5, which is insane for damage. But other than that, he's not doing much else other than ice. So you bring him for ice damage and that's it. I think he doesn't get any higher than B because he doesn't have anything else going for him. He's just an ice demon with a little bit of support and a physical option in case in case the enemy resists ice. But other than that, he's just kind of like he just spams ice type attacks to weaken the enemy and all that. Yeah, that's all he needs to be. I don't think he's B plus just because like all he is ice. There's nothing else he has. Like at least Jack Frost had +2 in light and had a light skill, so at least he had that. And um, Anita had +2 in a heavy light skill and also had healing and support. So yeah, I think he's just B, just okay. Next is Thoth. Thoth. Let me look at what Thoth is. Okay. Thoth. I'm gonna rate him as. Hmm. Hmm. Thoth is a little bit hard for me. I'm having a little bit of trickiness with Thoth. Um. You know what? I'm gonna rate him in at least C plus. Yeah, C plus. I think Thoth is C plus. Monkey with book. Monkey with book is C plus. So Thoth, resistance wise, he is immune to fire and he is weak to dark and sleep. Being weak to instant magic is always sucks. Stat wise, he's pretty mediocre across the board except for magic, which is 36, which is good, and luck, which is okay, which is 27. His innate skill is trickery. While in the active party, he just increases the odds of other person's innate skill triggering, which is just if it has a chance to, it has a higher chance to, and if it always procs on a certain event, then this fucking trickery does shit all. Um, skill wise, he starts with Haman, Megaido, and Mana Spring. He is the first demon to get an Almighty. He is the first demon to get Megaido, which is a medium Almighty attack to all foes. He also gets Resist Ice, Matarunda, and Light Pleroma by level up. So he does get a resistance to ice. Potential wise, he has +2 in light, +1 in almighty, and +3 in support. I think overall, he's a decent magic slash mini support mini support demon. Um, his potentials in his offensive skills are a little bit low for this point. +2 and +1 in your offensive magic sucks. It would be for real. But he is the first demon who has an offensive almighty skill that isn't just HP drain, that doesn't just HP drain or MP drain. So he does have something to deal damage no matter what the enemy's resistances or immunities are. Like no matter what. He won't be doing much damage with Magaido just because it is a medium almighty skill and only +1. But he does have an option to deal damage no matter the enemy's resistance. And it is enemy wise. If there are a lot of enemies, he has an option that he doesn't need to. And he does have light paroma to somewhat help boost his meager plus his like mediocre +2 in light for his heavy light skill, which does help a lot. Does help him a lot in terms of dealing damage. Coming with Mana Spring is great. Increases his mana by straight up just 20 points at least at base, which is incredibly helpful because Magaido is 36 MP, so he does kind of need it to like be able to use Magaido as like more than like 3 or 4 times without like costing half of his mana. He also does have Matarunda, which I think is reduces defense. No, it lowers attack. So yeah, he does kind of conflict with that with a lot of other demons around here, but like, yeah, it's fine. He can lower attack if he needs to. Overall, I think he's like okay. I think what makes him a little bit better than just other demons, what kind of raises him up a bit, is just he does have light pleroma, so he does have that little bit extra damage with light. And I think he is the first demon to be able to use offensive almighty with an actual spell, which does help him just not really care about the weaknesses or immunities or all that. And I think overall his defensive profile isn't horrendous. Having a null and a resist for just being weak to dark is not horrendous. I think what prevents him from being higher than C plus is his low offensive potentials, especially in just his low offensive potentials in general. If he had like +3 in light, he'd be like, I think he'd be at least B. Or if he had +2 or higher than +1 in Almighty, he would definitely be B. And I think being weak to an insta-kill magic does make him a lot more squishier than one would think, especially if you're fighting a lot of dark magic users. But I think overall he's a little bit above average. He's like a little bit better than okay, but he's not like in good territory. Because I just don't think that like I just don't think he has enough potential in his offensive stats, and I think he doesn't have enough support skills to be like super like positive about the +3 in support, which is still good. +3 in support is great because support can only go to +5, so having like anything above +2 at this stage is great. But yeah, C plus. You know what? I'll end with Baphomet because Baphomet is like the opposing thing to Toth. So let's end with Baphomet because they're the same level. All right, Baphomet. Oh, what does he have? Heavy. Okay. Honestly, trying to think. I'm gonna be honest. He's probably in the same boat. Yeah, no, I'm gonna put him in the same boat. Baphomet's pretty much the same. Baphomet's very similar to Toth. I think they're interchangeable, honestly, in terms of like how good they are. Yeah, Baphomet, I'm gonna put in the same exact spot as Toth. I don't think there's any difference between the two of them. I think they're interchangeable. Baphomet, defense wise, he is weak to light and he's no sorry. Baphomet, defensively, he is weak to light and poison, and he blocks dark. So he is weak to an insta-kill magic attack, which does suck. Stat-wise, he has good magic with 34, decent agility, like okay agility and luck at 26, and then like bad strength and kind of bad vitality at 19. His innate skill is Dark Gestalt. He increases the damage if he uses dark attacks based on the dark skill potential of all allies in your party. He starts with Maragion, which is a medium fire attack to all foes, and Medum. And he gets Mamudo, Dark Pleroma, and Dark Block by level up. Potential wise, he has +1 in fire and +3 in dark. Overall, he's a really good dark magic user. Having +3 and then an extra 20% damage on top of that is really nice. So he has like 35% extra damage with dark attacks, or like 40. I'm not exactly sure which. It's like 35 to 40, around that range. I think. Oh, hold on. Let's see. So, yeah, no, 40. Yeah, it's 40 because +3 is 20. So +5 is, yeah, 55. Okay, so it's 40, which is still great. And he has a heavy dark attack, which is great, and single target. I think what holds him back from being higher is that his only other thing is a medium fire attack to everyone, and it's a +1, which isn't great. And he doesn't really have anything else going for him because his only other thing is dark block, which he doesn't have any potential in. So it costs 40 MP, which is a fourth of his starting MP, about. So he can only use it like 3 times, and like it's kind of not great. But I think he's overall like C plus just because he's a good dark magic user. He doesn't really need to be any more than that. He has another option. Unlike Lilim, where she only had the one option, I think he has another option. He has another option, which I think does. But I put Lilim in B minus. Now I'm thinking about it. I did put Lilim in B minus. Did put Lilim in B minus. But Lilim also had higher magic, right? Uh, you know what? I will put him in B minus just because he is a really good dark magic user, and I put Lilim in there, and I feel like he's just like a dark version of her like lightning thing, but he has extra stuff. I think because he has meant. Does that mean Toth is B minus? Because Toth is very similar. No, because Toth does less damage with light, but he has a support skill. Yeah, no, Toth is also B minus. I think I gotta put them in B minus. Well, no, because he does less damage overall with Magaido, because Almighty does do less damage naturally than Elements, just because it hits everything. It does do less damage unless you have a lot of, like, buffs to its damage. So I will say he is slightly lower. I do think Toth is not. I do think Toth is C plus, and I think he is a little bit better just because like having heavy dark attack with 40% extra damage is kind of nutty for that stage. He will do a lot of damage with Mamudo or not Mamudo, Madoon. He will be our highest damage dealing dark magic user outside of potentially the Nahabino at this stage. Like he will do more damage than Loa by quite a bit, and Loa is the only other one that competes with him in terms of like dark magic damage. So I think he does get a B minus for that. But outside of that, he's kind of just like okay. He's basically just a dark magic user, and that's it. That's all you need to know. That's all he is. Nothing else. Yeah, I got that. I get it. I get it. I wasn't working. I was working early. I wasn't working late. I was working. I was also working. I sent it. It's just almost like when I sent it. Sorry, I'm responding to like someone. Hold on. One more. One more. One more. One more. One more. You know what? No, I'm gonna end it for right now. I'm gonna end it for tonight because I'm like falling asleep. But yeah, we got Baphomet. we got Baphomet done. We put a lot more demons on the list, and I think overall it's pretty good. We're putting them in good spots. I think, personally, in my opinion. I gotta turn the internet. Hold on. Oh, hold on. I'm still recording. My bad. Peace. I'll continue tomorrow in another episode. Peace.